somebody please explain this to me? Because I'm done trying to figure it out. I really am. Morning, everybody. Hope you're having a good week. It's been a long and stressful week. I realize it's only Wednesday, but it's been a pretty hefty week here around Casa de Dave. And although we've had some severe weather up here the last few days, but today, as you can probably see by my glasses if you're watching the video, is a beautiful day outside. And I just came in from being outside for a few minutes, and it is just this. I mentioned to my neighbor, this is the weather that I love. It's beautifully sunny out, and it's 35 degrees. I can take that all day long and never really get tired of it. Doesn't bother me. What things that do bother me, though, are things that intellectually I get. Look, I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying here. These are rhetorical questions. Can someone please explain this to me? We learned late yesterday that the Ritterhauser jury, yes, I'm intentionally mispronouncing it. The Ritterhouse jury is, according to rumors, now again, I don't know, but if the rumors are true, and that's a big if, the Ritterhouse jury is being held up by two people who are concerned about blowback. Now again, that should not be something the jury should be considering, but it makes sense. But I still wonder how in the hell this can happen. How in the world did we reach a point where a jury is actually considering convicting a man, a person, of a crime that he obviously did not commit solely for the reason that they're afraid of what might happen to themselves if they uphold justice, the law, as it is? We've reached that point in our country, and nobody can explain to me how we got here other than my father, who would tell me that it's communist infiltration, and others as well. But at the same time, I just go back to people keep asking me, how do I get out of jury duty? This is why you don't get out of jury duty, folks. I realize that not every case in the country is the Ritterhouse case. I get every case in the country isn't the O.J. Simpson murder or something serious, but they all represent a potential of government overreach. And the last and best bulwark against them, as Antonin Scalia himself said, juries are the backbone of the American democracy. And we spend so much freaking time trying to get out of it that we've forgotten that. To the point where some people have mentioned the idea that we should have professional juries. Yeah, that'll work. Way to rein in that government overreach. At the same time this morning, we've learned that some people, again, this is rumor, are calling for the replacement of the vice president. So we've again reached a point in this country where theoretically, and people who are serious about this, can legitimately discuss whether or not the vice president of the United States should be removed. Not for criminal activity, not for being Spyro T. Agnew, not for, becoming a Confederate. None of that stuff. It's simply that she don't get along with the Biden administration. Well, so what? She's the vice president. It doesn't matter what she gets along with. It really doesn't. That's the guy's name, and I can't think of his name right now, but he was Franklin Roosevelt's first vice president before he got dumped before the fourth term and replaced with Harry S. Truman. He used to say that being the vice president, it's not a great job. It's not worth what did he say? A bucket full of spit. Might have been Harry Truman that said that. I don't remember, but it was one of those two that said it. And they were right. It's a meaningless job. And when Harry Truman took over the job, he was surprised to find out some things that he had no idea about, including the atomic bomb. You're not intended to get along with it, but you don't need this whole idea of sending the vice president to the border as the borders are, or to France to discuss submarine stuff. That's the problem right there, folks. You don't need a vice president to do that. The vice president, they're not the ones that are supposed to be doing that. They're not. This insistence that we use the vice president to do something is ludicrous. It's unnecessary. It's outrageous. It's stupid. And yet, can somebody please explain to me how we've reached a point in this country where all of a sudden we think we have to use the vice president to do something? And then we say, well, they're not doing a good job of it, and we don't like the way they're doing it. And so we should honestly talk about replacing them. And of course, the reason they're talking about replacing them is there are rumors of, quote, high-level confirmation hearings in the House. Well, if you know anything about how the Constitution works and how the law works, you know that the House doesn't approve confirmations. They don't hold confirmation hearings except for one office, and that's the vice president if it needs to be replaced. Well, the likelihood is that these rumors are being misunderstood, and I get that. I doubt seriously that they would ever seriously consider replacing the vice president. I guess it's possible, but the political capital you would have to expend to do that, it wouldn't be worth it. And I can't imagine, for the life of me, I can't imagine them doing it. But I suppose anything is possible. But I still don't understand it. I don't understand how the Attorney General of the United States can sit in front of Congress and say, that's ridiculous, that would never happen. Only to find out 24 hours later that the FBI was doing exactly what he said they wouldn't do. Creating tags in documents for parents. Now, again, am I surprised that the FBI is doing this? No, I'm not. The FBI long ago ceased being, it's not Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., folks. It's not the TV show The FBI anymore. It's none of that. This has become, the FBI has literally become the source of so much just bad government. It's badly managed, it's badly overseen, but it's existing solely upon its reputation as being the good guys, the Tom Clancy good guys. But the Attorney General had to have known this. He had to. If the Attorney General didn't know that the FBI was doing this, then the Attorney General should be fired, which he should be anyway, but that's a story for another day. The bottom line is the Attorney General is either incredibly stupid, and I do mean incredibly stupid, or the FBI lied to him, or he lied to Congress. One of those three. You can't get around it. And it makes me wonder how we got to this point in our country where we've reached this point where nobody cares. Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. My morning news, 4-hour news program. I don't know why I still watch this program. I really should find something else. But the truth of the matter is I can't stand the inane network shows. So we have one local newscast that goes all morning. The others, they have an hour at 6 a.m. or whatever. But the other one goes, but it's so bad. Not a word about this. Not even a discussion about the fact that either the FBI, the Attorney General, somebody lied. So, but Steve Bannon, we got a story about him. How did we get here? Pfizer pill being purchased. 10 million doses going to be purchased by the government with your tax dollars, of course. How did we get to the point where nobody cares? I don't know. I don't know how we got to that point. What I really don't understand, though, is the fake virtue signaling. I really don't get it. So I've said this before. My wife loves Starbucks, and I'm not gonna debate you about, man, I don't use Starbucks. I don't need your virtue signaling about how you hate Starbucks. I don't care. I really don't. My wife loves Starbucks. She goes through these phases where she's going to quit Starbucks, and she'll spend, I don't know, $40, $50 on the stuff to make the drinks that she gets at Starbucks. It's downstairs on her counter. And then she goes back to Starbucks. She actually made me delete the Starbucks app off my phone because usually when we're driving, I pay for it using her app. She made me delete the app off, and then she made me put it back on. But now she can't remember her password. So anyway, point being that my wife loves Starbucks, and I love my wife. And so we go to Starbucks almost every day. And I don't care what you think about that. I really don't. We live in Washington State. She's from Washington State. we go to Starbucks. What I don't get, though, is every time we go to Starbucks, we have this conversation with the baristas about, do you want a straw? And my wife always asks the same question, is it plastic or paper? And if they say it's paper, she says no. She's got a whole glove compartment full of plastic straws that she's obtained elsewhere, so that she doesn't have to fart around. So I'm almost said a bad word, with these stupid paper straws. Now, if you know anything about this paper straw thing, you know that it's all because of this myth about turtles being murdered by plastic straws, which are just apparently being dumped into the oceans by millions of Americans who are every day going to the stores, going to the restaurants, buying plastic straws and just dumping them in the ocean where the turtles apparently inhale them. How did we get to the point where people believe that? Oh, there was a picture on the internet, Dave. Don't you get it? Yeah, I get it. So Starbucks and other places, but particularly Starbucks, comes up with this idea, well, we'll go to paper straws, which I don't know if you've ever had a drink with a paper straw in it. It's not good. It is one of the most disgusting things I've ever experienced in my life because, again, I tend to drink these things slowly. And after about an hour, that paper straw is starting to dissolve, only not completely. And so if you drink it in 5 seconds, sure, it works great. If you take more than 15 minutes, that thing starts to dissolve. And the next thing you know, you're sucking in paper and it's making me gag just thinking about it. Sorry, it just does. I have a weird gag reflex. Sorry. At any rate, the same Starbucks that insists on giving me a paper straw because plastic, turtles, the environment, is the same Starbucks that every time I pull in there and I get a hot drink, they ask me the same question. You ready for the same question? Do you want a stopper in that? Now, normally I say no, but sometimes they don't ask me and they just put it in there. You know what a stopper is, right? It's this thing. For those of you on video, I'm holding it up. It's a plastic stick, probably 4 inches long, 5 inches long. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5 inches long, with a wider at the top so that it stops up the hole of the cup, right? So that you don't spill it on yourself. It's 100% plastic. And my guess is that if they put one of these in every hot coffee cup they make every day, that's a lot of stoppers that are plastic. So if these are okay, but straws aren't, well, here's my question. Why aren't millions of Americans throwing these in the ocean where the turtles can suck them up? I don't understand. Why is it just the straws that get thrown into the ocean for the turtles to suck on, but not these things, which are smaller and easier? I mean, frankly, and I don't mean to be rude or anything here, but frankly, I like to chew on them. They kind of become plastic. That's why I keep them. I don't throw them into the ocean. The truth is, despite my question about what is going on here, can somebody please explain to me, Starbucks, why a plastic straw is bad, but a plastic stopper is okay? I know why. Because the plastic straw BS is exactly that. It's BS. It's 100% fake virtue signaling. That's all it is. It's all it ever was. And yet, we are compelled to put up with it because if we don't, somehow or another, we're the bad guy. You hate turtles. Dave, don't you care about the environment? Well, I suspect that I care a lot more about it than the people who are using paper straws because, again, that paper is going to the same place. It's just dissolving and becoming disgusting. But in the meantime, I can have one of these plastic stoppers in my drink, but I can't have a straw? When did we get to the point where just fake virtue signaling is so over the top, so ridiculous, so incredibly obtuse, and we don't even question it anymore? I guess that's the real question is, what the heck what happened to us? Where did we go wrong? And that question, I may not have quite the answer for you.